As a matter of course, people hated and feared others. They couldn't see souls, so they had to imagine how others felt. Furthermore, they were at the mercy of their own emotions. They merely reacted to stimuli, never recognizing the fluctuations in their own souls. They didn't even know where their souls were. Mahito pondered the matter. The blind old man had lost all light and all ties to other people, resulting in minimal stimulation to his soul. As a result, the unnecessary dross of the external world had stopped influencing him, so he spent more time facing inward. That's like the ascetic practice of a monk, Mahito muttered to himself. Intense introspection, more time peering into your own soul. As he walked along the street, Mahito skimmed a worn-out copy of the Heart Sutra. The scripture was like a textbook for controlling the soul. In their own way, people long ago had studied techniques for distinguishing the soul from substance. Through this manner of living, the old man had unintentionally reached an enlightened state. Perhaps that was how he had learned to sense souls in the dark. That was the explanation Mahito came up with regarding the old man's detection of curses. He must have already had the potential. After all, it's easy for talent to bloom in introverts. If Mahito pondered the old man further, he might be able to guess the sorcerer's training methods and techniques for manifesting cursed energy. Then, he might be able to turn talented human beings into sorcerers and curse users. He might be able to spur a curse user he had groomed into becoming a sorcerer. That would be an interesting experiment. It was easier to upset human souls by making them fight each other than by having them exercise curses. He doubted Sukuna's vessel was any exception. However, maybe I'll save that for later. Mahito mulled this over in a leisurely way. He was free. He moved when he felt like moving and rested when he felt like resting. And at the moment, he didn't feel like putting any plans into action. For now, he would gather knowledge and lose himself in thought. He had picked up a few more books, and he wanted to bask in the comfort of the quiet tunnel and read fantasy novels. His gait was light, and he even began humming as he walked with the flow of human traffic. Then he heard loud voices, coming from between the buildings. "You really piss me off." Glancing in that direction, Mahito saw two young human beings, a skinny man with long hair and a well-built man with a shaved head. These types of people were usually described as rough. The man with long hair was grinning sheepishly as he listened to the angry man with the shaved head. "It ain't funny. Every moron talks tough, but all they got is talk. Then they make excuses. I'd like to kill every last one of them." "Sure, but if you ever got, super angry, could you actually do it?" asked the long-haired man. "Yeah, killing ain't nothing. For real?" Mahito's eyes narrowed as he listened. He didn't mind honest impulses, but Mahito knew human beings like this were almost always talk. "Yeah, for real," yelled the well-built man. "I'd snuff anyone out, dude, anyone!" If so, he should shut up and do it. Mahito thought about teaching the man what it felt like to kill, and he even started to reach out, but then he noticed the weight of the book in his hand and he gave up the idea. Instead of messing around with these men, he wanted to hurry back to the comfort of the tunnel to get lost in a book. "I'll really do it, dude!" The shaven-headed man's words sounded like an incantation, but they were devoid of strength and intention and would become host to nothing. At most, the man was essentially talking to himself, hidden between two buildings. Might as well let these men continue to hole up in the narrow back streets, all the while under the illusion that they were enjoying the big wide world. Mahito turned away and continued toward home. Alright, y'all. That is Section 5, Chapter 3, Allegory in Darkness, Mahito's chapter. There is so much I want to say, but I think we should probably fly through the end of this chapter and then discuss everything at the end. There are, I believe, 2 or 3 more sections, and they are very short. So I'm gonna try and drop the rest of that this week for y'all. The one thing that I did want to bring up from this chapter was the Heart Sutra. Go ahead and go get you a copy. I'm pretty sure it's free everywhere. And if you don't like reading, or if you have yet to learn how, there's audiobooks for that. And if you don't know what an audiobook is, you just listen to one. But if that still doesn't make sense, then who knows? You might get lucky. I might put out a Twitter thread about the Heart Sutra. Or maybe I'll just do a whole video on koans. Who knows? Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But that's also kind of what the Heart Sutra says. The Heart Sutra is going to give you kind of like the blueprint for what Yuji is going to have to cut off of him in order to find his variety of enlightenment. Because compassion, sincerity, as the narrator tells us, is Yujiitadori's biggest strength. It's how he beat Hige. It's how he is still alive in the Culling Games. It is how Yuji breathes. Sincerity. So, go ahead and get you some of that. It even talks about cutting ears off and stuff. Good things. Good things. Anyway, see you in the next one.